Can you tell me the broad strokes of this project of solar? What's it all about? What are we trying to solve? All of that.
Cryptocurrency is part of the information age of this internet revolution that we're experiencing. And so we've gone through different phases of this evolution. Phase one of the internet was really the democratization of information. So we had Wikipedia and Google. Phase two is really the democratization of content. And with that, we had like things like WordPress and Twitter. Now we're in this phase three of the evolutionary process with the internet and cryptocurrency really driving the way. And so we're coming to this democratization of ownership. So what solar does is encapsulates all three stages of that evolution, from the democratization of information, the democratization of content, and the democratization of ownership. And the way they do this is by offering and developing on a layer one blockchain. Our native token is SXP, and this is a community driven project and initiative, and really the community plays a big part in helping vote for our delegates. We have 53 delegates who maintain and secure our network. So with this model, it's called a delegate proof of stake model. It's a different consensus mechanism, different than proof of work like Bitcoin, different than proof of stake like Ethereum. It's different from proof of history, which is Solana. This DPoS consensus model that Solar is implementing is going to give developers and the creator economy another option.
Before we get too far into this AMA, we should let you know that we are doing an $800 giveaway, okay? For 8 winners, $100 of SXP. And all you have to do is two things. One, leave a comment down below on the most interesting thing you heard in this AMA, okay? Just leave that comment down below. And two, download that Solar wallet. It's on your browser. You can tend to win. There's tend to be a lot of winners, and Teef's team will go through and pick the top 8 comments and send them that and those winners. And so, just to make sure you guys know, leave a comment down below on the most interesting thing and download that wallet. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you at the end of the video. What's going on, Cowboy? In this video, we've got another crypto project. It's looking to be promising. It's a layer one blockchain for decentralized payment solutions. It's called Solar. And we need to figure out, hey, is this project worth our time and money to be investing in this, especially in a bear market? We only have the option to choose the best projects out there, because a lot of these projects will just fall to the wayside if they are not serious, if the teams aren't serious. We need to know which ones are the best ones to get into. If you're new to this channel, my name is Aaron. I'm on a journey to my next Bitcoin while helping you to your next Bitcoin. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just a lizard brain cowboy exploring the wild west of cryptocurrencies with a whole bunch of other cowboys. If you want to roll with us, hit the subscribe button down below. Give us a like if you feel this content is valuable, and head over to the Telegram. That's the saloon where we're always talking about the new and craziest, greatest projects. Now, before I get into the interview and the AMA with Jeffrey here, and it goes by Teef, but before I get into that, I gotta let you know, when I was researching, and still, if I'm researching these crypto projects, I go on YouTube just like you do, and I try to search which ones are the best ones. And these YouTubers, like myself, they get paid these dollars to then promote and shill projects, but they don't tell me, and they don't tell you, and they just omit that whole part. And it's like, it's so crazy that they're allowed to do this, because it's like you're biased at that point. And so what I like to do instead is I get this AMA get going, and then you and I get to get straight from the horse's mouth to our cowboy ears to our lizard brain. What is this project really about? Can we trust this person? Can we trust the team? And can we ask really anything we want? And so in this video, we've got Jeffrey from Solar here, and I've got a small introduction because you know how I like to make these introductions for a special guest. Centralized payments are a different controller. Got to get rid of it like a bad molar. We're going to crush it with this AMA like a steamroller. Join in on the gains. You could be a delegate or a voter. It's Jeffrey representing this new project, Solar. Welcome to the channel.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad that you're here. Before we get into Solar, which we will 100% get into, I just want a quick 2 sentence origin story background of who you are and how you got into crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. So I come from a financial technology background. Plus, I was also a contractor at Microsoft for about 10 years. And during that time, I straddled two roles. I was in the marketing department, but on the side, I also develop trading algorithm for traditional financial markets, and online broker retailer platforms. And so in the market full time, I just sort of started to see how opaque it was and lack of transparency. The fact that traditional financial markets close, settlement times are, 2 days or whatever, just wasn't really appealing for me. It was kind of hard to find long term investments in the traditional financial system for me because I couldn't interact with those. I couldn't be involved in the community. And so in 2017, I essentially got orange pilled, went down the Bitcoin rabbit trail, learned all about proof of work, then went down the Ethereum rabbit trail, learned all about that model, that consensus mechanism, and then their migration to proof of stake. So I really started migrating full time into crypto from 2017 to about now. And when I found Solar, it aligned with my ethos. I thought that they had a very ambitious project, and the team was really cohesive, and they have a lot going on. So I jumped on board as their senior brand ambassador, and here I am.
Awesome. So, just to summarize, you used to work with Microsoft Financial Tech, and in two places, traditional trading and marketing. And in 2017, you took some things that you didn't like about that space, like transparency and settlement times, and you found a project in solar, and you became its brand senior brand ambassador here. So here we are with solar. Can you tell me the broad strokes of this project of solar? What's it all about? What are we trying to solve? All of that.
Yeah, for sure. Solar, well, if you take a step back, right? Um, Cryptocurrency is part of the information age of this internet revolution that we're experiencing. And so we've gone through different phases of this evolution. Phase one of the internet was really the democratization of information. So we had Wikipedia and Google. Phase two is really the democratization of content. And with that, we had like things like WordPress and Twitter. Now we're in this phase three of the evolutionary process with the internet and cryptocurrency really driving the way. And so we're coming to this democratization of ownership. So what solar does is encapsulates all three stages of that evolution, from the democratization of information, the democratization of content, and the democratization of ownership. And the way they do this is by offering and developing on a layer one blockchain. Our native token is SXP. And this is a community driven project and initiative. And really, the community plays a big part in helping vote for our delegates. We have 53 delegates who maintain and secure our network. So, with this model, it's called a delegate proof of stake model. It's a different consensus mechanism, different than proof of work like Bitcoin, different than proof of stake like Ethereum. It's different from proof of history, which is Solana. This DPoS consensus model that Solar is implementing is going to give developers and the creator economy another option.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're saying there's a proof of work, Bitcoin, proof of stake, Ethereum, proof of history, Avalanche or no,
Solana,
Solana. And yours is a delegate proof of stake model.
correct.
Could you elaborate on that and how that differs from the proof of stake model of Ethereum?
Sure. So Ethereum still technically is proof of work, but as you probably know, they're migrating to proof of stake. In fact, I've set up several independent proof of stake validator nodes for the Ethereum network using the Prismatic client. So I am familiar with how that consensus mechanism works and how setting up a validator node for Ethereum works. This
Yes, that's what I meant.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
This is different in the sense that we have 53 forging nodes. So there are 53 delegates that are running advanced servers which are in charge of maintaining our blockchain and forging new blocks in the blockchain. So every 8 seconds a new block is forged by one of the 53 delegates. And so, if for whatever reason that a forging delegate, maybe their internet goes down or they something happens and they can't forge that block, one of the other delegates will come in and continue forging that block. The nice thing about this model is there's a rank stack. So you have delegate one all the way down to delegate 53. And there's a waiting list essentially below that of other delegates who want to come in and become a forging delegate. If you're 1 through 53 on the rank stack, you are a forging delegate. Any delegate below that is not a forging delegate. So let's say a voter who is an SXP holder comes in and upvotes delegate 54, they could essentially delegate 54 could replace delegate 53 in that rank stack. And the benefit of being a forging delegate is that you are unlocking new SXP into the ecosystem.
Okay. So I've got a few questions here, and they're all kind of combined here. I don't know offhand. I could imagine a couple thousand people who would be running some kind of blockchain, layer one blockchain, as you know, this like proof of stake, or I don't understand why 53. I guess is what I guess what I'm asking. Like, what made you pick this number? What differentiates someone who's an advanced server who's running one of these advanced servers from like number 100, if there's if there's a waiting list of like 100 people on there, how does this come to, who are these 53 people? Are they anonymous? Are they docs? Like, I've got this question, I got all these questions about 50. Could you elaborate on who these 53 people are? How'd you pick them and why
Yeah,
53?
and when I went down the rabbit trail with Solar and SXP, I had the same exact question. That was pretty much my first question. Why 53? For one, it's improved security. 50. If there's ever a fork of our blockchain, you can't take half of the delegates with you, right? So it's not divisible by two. So that's one of the reasons, right? There's an added layer of security. It's a uneven number. So if there was some sort of mutiny, you just couldn't take half of the blockchain with you, which would, as you know, not be a good thing. That'd be like a 50% attack on our blockchain. Um, with regard to your question on transparency, yes. If you go to solar.org, our website, there is a link in that website where you can go and you can review all of the forging delegates and you can see the rank stack. And you can also see the rewards that they're offering to voters in the form of voter commission. And you can also see what contributions that they're making to the blockchain. And so as an SXP holder, is as long as you just have one SXP in your Solar digital wallet, you can vote for a delegate of your choice. So it's kind of like it's actually a fun scenario. It's a fun thing to do. When I started voting on delegates in Solar, I would go to this website and I'd look at, okay, what delegates are sharing their forging rewards, and what delegates are contributing to the network. So it's almost like playing fantasy football because I have to do a lot of research. I have to evaluate the delegates and I have to figure out which ones are going to benefit me and the network at the same time. And then I can stake my vote for that delegate.
Ah, I understand now. Okay, so I still have some more questions, but here's essentially how it works. There are 53 delegates, and they are putting up, hey, this is what I'm going to give you. These are the rewards that I'm going to give you if you put your vote to me. And so only people who hold SXP, the coin, if I vote for number 52, and because they've got, I don't know how it splits up, and frankly if someone is interested they could read it, but I'm not trying to get into, I just want to know the general
Yeah,
concept is that they will pay back for your vote, essentially, like some percentage or some amount for your vote. Is that about
that's
right?
correct. And that's a very important thing to emphasize.
And so then it's gamified. The delegate is trying to balance out how much reward do they get versus how much reward do other people get, and they're incentivized to give higher rewards to be one of those forgers. So I totally get that.
Absolutely.
Now, is there a technical requirement for being a forger? Like, can I only have a laptop, so can I just try to be a forger, or I don't know, understand how that works.
There are technical requirements that you can find on solar.org. Like 16 gigabytes of RAM is recommended, 500 gigabyte minimum hard drive. There is a process that you go through. You need to create a digital wallet, then you need to basically create a validator node that ties in with the Solar blockchain. And all that information can be found on our website. It can also be found on our Discord or our Telegram group. We have active modifiers who go in there and help answer those questions. So
Sure. And that probably changes with technology and all that stuff. So no problem. But my question still remains, why 53? I know you said it's an odd number, but I could pick any odd number. I could pick 7, like 17 or 117.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So why 53
So I
specifically?
think 53, the reason why is because it gives us a good balance of the three core pillars of what it takes to become a blockchain, which is A, decentralization, B, security, and C, scalability. So with, if you were only to choose 7 delegates, it's not very decentralized, not very scalable, definitely not very secure. So 53 is our sweet spot for those three core pillars of the blockchain.
Got it. So this is what's known as the trilemma of coined by coined by Vitalik here. And what this is basically, if someone's listening, is there you could essentially only have, this is the argument, two out of the three: the centralization, security, and scalability, which is speed, right? I mean, there's more to it, but it's essentially
Right.
speed. Um, and so something like Ethereum, it's very slow, or Bitcoin's very slow, but it's secure or decentralized or whatever. So this is your attempt at solving this trilemma. Is you're saying 53 is that magic number that keeps it fast, decentralized, and secure. Can you tell me how fast Solar is compared to its competitors?
So we have 8-second block times, like I mentioned before. So every
Mhm.
delegate forges a block in 8 seconds, and once all 53 delegates have gone through and forged 53 blocks, they have essentially unlocked 530 SXP in that round. That allows us to have a good throughput. So transactions per second can be relatively high. It also enhances our security among all 53 delegates. One of the ways to improve our security is by the delegates all have backup relay nodes and backup forging nodes. The delegates only run one forging node. They can't run more than one forging node. But let's say that their forging node gets attacked or goes down, or for whatever reason they have to shut it down. They all have a backup node that will be up and running within seconds. And sometimes it's an automated process as well. So that improves the security aspect. But the throughput, we're looking at right now maybe 150 transactions per second, which could be improved upon. The model can always change, but we find that 53 and the 8-second block, 53 delegates with the 8-second block time right now is a great balance for us.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I'm looking up really quick just to how many transactions per second, like something like Solana has, or Ethereum. Bitcoin has about 7, Ethereum 15, Binance Smart Chain 100, Solana 50,000. Now, just because someone says 50,000 on here, you'll have zero transactions because I have a certain buy or unbiased against Solana because it keeps going down more than my grades in high school. However, how do you see it competing with about 100 transactions? You said
Yeah,
115 or so
150
transactions,
transactions.
150 transactions per second. What differentiates yourself from, let's say, Binance Smart Chain, or any of these other chains here? What's a big differentiator?
Well, we're offering a different form of governance to our SXP holders. So what we're doing is we're coming full circle with our voter commission and our governance based blockchain. We're really giving control of our decentralized autonomous organization to the SXP holders. This is different from any other blockchain. I can just go on and on and on about this. We have a much better staking model in the sense that 71% of the newly forged SXP gets shared with our SXP holders in the form of voter commission. That's a very high percentage. The
Yeah.
other thing is when you talk about staking, there are there are challenges out there. I don't know if you've heard of Lido staking,
No.
or maybe Rocket Pool, um, or maybe Thor Chain. Um,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
there's a lot of staking pools out there that don't allow you to do what Solar allows you to do when it comes to voting on a delegate, which is our form of staking. And this is really, I think, one of the key aspects that helps differentiate us from those other blockchains. So, for example, there's no lock in period. When you vote for a delegate to either help contribute to the network or receive voter commission, when you vote for that delegate, there's no lock in period. With the Ethereum transition to proof of stake, when I was setting up those Ethereum validator nodes, I had to lock in 32 Ethereum for 2 years.
Yep.
That's a pretty
Yep.
big commitment,
Okay.
right? But
Yep.
with
Yep.
solar, you don't have that lock-in period. Also, one very important thing is with solar, um, 1 SXP equals 1 SXP. So some of these staking protocols, you are receiving a different token. So you put in your ETH and you get STETH or some derivative of your Ethereum. So it's not they claim it's one to one, and we all saw
Hmm.
how that worked out for, UST and Terra Luna. So
Yeah.
we don't over promise and under deliver. We don't offer derivatives with our staking. There's no lock in time. Um, and we share 71% of our newly forged SXP with our voters. So it's sort of like what we're doing is we're like a almost like a startup company without the requirement to be a venture capital firm or an institution to come in and grow with us. You're able to come in with just one SXP and partake in the network.
Yeah. Yeah, and I should go on to note that this is a rank 126 currently on Coin Market Cap. So it's not a small project by any means. You say startup, but I should say that like, hey, I mean, that's pretty established. I mean, we're not talking about some just starting up thing. And so any Cowboys listening out there, just there check out the rank. It's like 126 right
Thank you.
now. And so you're saying that it's the community and the staking. I really do see that 71% is a lot. And you said in the beginning that this is a community project. I don't feel like that is in Ethereum. I don't feel like that is on other chains that I'm on. I feel like I'm playing in their playground, and so I'm interested on to knowing what Solar has to bring. But I want to know exactly what Solar has to bring. Let's talk DApps. Do you guys have a DEX? Do you guys have NFTs, DeFi, and you mentioned a wallets? Like, talk to me about some of this stuff. Who are some of the developers? I know some people, some other influencers out there, and I trust them. They say, hey, follow the developers, follow where those projects, those real good businesses are going. Tell me what you got going on with Solar.
Oh man, again, there's so much to unpackage in so little time here. I'm going to highlight some of the top ones, but before I do, I want to just encourage anyone listening to go check out solar.org, because at solar.org you'll see our roadmap. So you'll see what we've already achieved and what we're going to achieve in the coming weeks and months. Um, the other thing is, if you check out the delegate page, then you'll and I don't think you can find the contribution page from here. I could send that to you in a link later. But there's a contribution
Mhm.
page where you can see what the delegates are working on specifically. All right. Now with that out of the way, let me go to a high level. If you go to HTTPS whack whack um, district 53 the number 53 and .io. This is our open public beta for our metaverse. District 53 is a metaverse concept based off a Minecraft game. And you can download this and you could enter our metaverse and you can see what's already been created. We have a main square. We have a lot of different places you can transport to. We have Minecraft architects in there right now developing houses. And before the end of the year, we plan on offering 44,000 NFT land plots for sale. So if you own one of these land plots, you can essentially start your own business on there. You can build a house, host people. Um, Really, the sky's the limit what you can do in the metaverse. And this is our public beta that is available to anyone to check out. You can download that to your Windows computer. It's going to be available with Mac soon. Um, and this is uh, one of the ways that we are creating a circular economy with a continual use case for SXP holders. So in this metaverse, there's going to be play to earn. There's going to be player versus environment. There's going to be a lot of scenarios for people to come in and earn SXP and conduct commerce in here. In fact, if you go to my Twitter, which is at Jeffrey Teef, I just did a little sneak peek of with one of the architects in our metaverse who showed me some of the homes that he's building, which is an awesome scenario if you think about it, because perhaps you do purchase one of the NFT plots, but you're not like a Minecraft architect. You don't really know how to build awesome houses in that metaverse. However, you want to, and you want to use that to,
That's totally nice.
grow your business or do some kind of commerce or whatever. You can hire these architects to build you amazing houses or a theme park or a zoo or whatever it is that you want to create to sort of build up this metaverse economy. And the reason why we chose Minecraft, is because it's honestly one of the most sticky games that's ever been created. I think the monthly active user base for Minecraft continues to go up and up and up. And last year was like 150 million monthly active users in Minecraft.
Sure.
So the benefit of that is if you have experience playing Minecraft, it's very easy for you to transition into our metaverse and roam around, build, conduct commerce, do things.
Yeah, yeah, I agree that Minecraft is huge, and but there are a lot of different places that are building out something that looks like Minecraft, that blocky look. I do want to focus more on solar, but it did seem like it was very early on for that uh 53 project. So what is the next best thing, the next most exciting thing that solar has coming out that I could be excited about for the price action? I'm an investor, right? I want to see some price action. I want to see movement and action within a project. What's the next best thing that's coming out? Some maybe like a top secret thing that is just sitting in your belly that you can't wait to reveal to the world.
So we are gonna release our mobile wallet and our web wallet soon. Right now, it's just a desktop wallet. So if you want to interact with our governance system through your SXP, um, I would
Mhm.
definitely look for that to happen because those are going to be big wallets. To take a step back and answer your question, I want to kind of reverse back to something that you said earlier. We are a top 100. We are of the number of cryptocurrencies on coin market cap. I don't know how many there are, by the way. Do you? I think there's over. Yeah,
Thousands.
dude, there's a lot. I was gonna guess like 3,000 or 4,000. There may even be more than that. But so
Yeah.
being ranked number 126 is a big deal, right? That's pretty high up there. However, you probably should be aware of some of the history. So SXP is not a new token. SXP used to be ERC20 and BP20 based token. In fact, it was operated by Binance and Swipe prior to 2022. And what happened
Hmm.
was Solar was created and formed as a new entity, not owned by any single person or single company. And Solar acquired the Swipe blockchain, the SXP blockchain. So we're not a fork from Swipe or Binance or Arc. The original code base came from Arc, ARK. And since Solar acquired the SXP blockchain this year, we've made over 2,000 new file iterations in the code base. New files. We have 2,000 new files in our code base, and we have over 32,000 updates to the code base. So
Hmm.
the solar project, the mainnet launched on March 28th of this year. So anybody who is holding a prior SXP token, the ERC token or the BEP token, they're now able to come to solar.org and swap their token for our mainnet token. So what this means is that Solar is essentially a new entity managing and owning and operating the SXP blockchain that has a prior history. That's important
Got
to
it.
consider because when you ask questions like what's new, what's going on, solar is new. So we're building new things to encapsulate what I was talking about earlier, this transition from web 1 to web 2 to web 3. So, yeah,
Sure.
our District 53 webpage is a beta. It looks new, but the reason is because we solar is new. Solar is a brand new entity. But
Interesting.
things that are on the horizon that we're excited about, solar is going to be a launch pad for other software development kits. Solar is essentially going to be a smart contract decentralized application platform similar to Ethereum and Solana and Binance. So we're going to allow developers to come in, use our SDK, and program smart contracts that interact with our native SXP blockchain. That's what I'm most excited about. In fact, just yesterday, I saw an announcement from one of the delegates that they're going to start working on some .NET framework pieces to help integrate with our Solar blockchain. There's a lot of tech coming into our space right now to develop and expand Solar. But my point is, again, Solar is relatively new, so we haven't had like 5 years to build stuff, and finally here we are putting it together. No, we're in the heat of it now. We got our heads down. Our developers are up all the time, all hours of the night, working on stuff to push out. And our roadmap is a great way to see exactly what we've got coming up.
Gotcha. So your new project with some old bones, as it were. So I'm just curious here. How big is your team? And yeah, how big is the team? How big is the adoption here? What are we talking about as far as community goes?
Yeah, so our community, if you go to our Discord and check it out, you can see we have an active community on Discord. We actually our Telegram group. In fact, I really didn't use Telegram much before joining Solar. I just thought, we have all these communication platforms, and I'll just stick to the ones that I know. But when I joined Solar, I realized how big that the Telegram community was. So we have Telegram groups for countries all around the world, and they're super active. And there are all sorts of languages that I don't understand, so thank God for Google Translate, right? But if you go into our Telegram group, you can definitely get a sense of how big our community is. Same with our Discord, and our team right now. I want to say the core team. I want to say there's like a dozen or so people on our core team, but um, our community is made up of SXP holders and delegates. So we have, thousands of people on in our community.
Got it. Yeah, I saw about 20,000 in the Telegram looking for the announcements. Look, look, Teef, this has been a good interview. However, I need to know what you want us to do. Okay, like what is it? What's the call to action here? So I'm looking at solar. I'm interested in the community. I'm interested in the sharing of the SXP here. I'm interested in governance. I like that I get to choose which delegators I could pick. I could send my vote to, and I could pick, okay, which one do I like or whatever. I like all that. But what do you want me to do? Do you want me to buy SXP? Do you want me to join the social groups? Give me one thing specifically that would be the most beneficial thing to me as a cowboy and to anyone watching this thing on solar. Because I'm looking at the chart here, and I to be honest, I did my research on you guys. I saw some different videos on people saying, like, okay, yeah, solar is at this price, and we found a base layer at like $1.50 or whatever, and it's a bear market right
Mm.
now. So I'm thinking, like, in general, I only have so many pennies to spend here. Is this a good time to buy solar? What else should I be doing otherwise? You tell me what to
So
do.
here, let me just say this: none of what blah blah blah. None of what I say is investment advice. Blah blah
Sure.
blah. That. But let me just say a couple things. Uh, One, I really encourage people to have a long term view when it comes to investing. And I really encourage people to be smart about dollar cost averaging into their investments. You know, I, I come from a fintech background. I've been trading almost my entire life. I've made money and I've lost lots of money too. So there's no real such thing as a loss. There's just a lesson. And so what I've learned from that is to be careful, tiptoe your way into things and learn about them and do your own research. With that said, the price is very low right now. And the old adage is you buy when there's blood in the streets. So I can
Hmm.
tell you that right now I am dollar cost averaging into SXP every 2 weeks. So I continually am buying it and
Good deal.
stacking SXP that I then use to vote on various delegates that I align with. So one of the ways to get started is we just launched our mainnet on an exchange called excuse me, an exchange called BitGet, and BitGet has great liquidity, good bid ask spreads. It was really easy for me to sign up for an account, and I went in and purchased my first SXP, not my first, but from that exchange, it was my first because we just launched mainnet there. So it was very easy to purchase, and then it was very easy for me to send that to my Solar digital wallet. So I would encourage you to go to solar.org, download the Solar digital wallet, create a digital wallet address or multiple digital wallet addresses because you can do many things with multiple wallet addresses. Then, if you feel like getting some SXP, get some from an exchange like BitGet. There are other exchanges like Gate.io and ZegX, and there are a few others. If you go to our Discord, you can figure out which ones are available in your region. I just used BitGet. It was really nice. I sent that SXP to my Solar digital wallet, and I started staking or earning voter commission from the forging delegates that I voted for. And it's
Got
amazing.
it.
See, and this is one of the things that I think really attracted me to crypto early on, is once you actually go through a process like that, you see how easy it is to control your private keys and to control your security or your asset or your crypto or your community token, whatever it is, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, whatever. When you go through that experience, you become empowered. You feel like the sovereign individual who is able to take control over their financial freedom and their financial well-being because you're able to transfer your crypto from one wallet to another. And so if you haven't done that if you haven't gone through that experience yet, definitely try it with SXP. Doesn't take much to get one SXP right now. I think it's like around 50 cents. But
Mhm.
that experience I think is crucial for adoption. A lot of people talk about crypto without actually doing anything, right? And so once you once you
Yeah.
actually set up a digital wallet, which isn't very hard to do, and you go buy a little crypto and you see how easy it is to send it from one wallet to another wallet, boom, the light bulb sort of goes off and you become enlightened and you're like, wow, I can actually control my
Yeah.
financial well being and send my crypto to whatever wallet I want based on where my ethos are and what teams align with my views and my investment strategy. And again, with crypto, we're ushering in Web3 by democratizing ownership, by democratizing content creation, and by democratizing information.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I want to revisit that before we end here, but I do want to get one final question in. Technically, what can I expect as far as voter commissions and stakings as a return? Like, how much if I were to stake, let's say, 1,000 SXP, or what's the return here? What's the average return? I know it's probably different for everyone, but like, what can I expect here? Like 5%, 10%? What am I looking at?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when it comes to voter commission, it varies by delegate. Some delegates will share 95% of their forging rewards with their voter. 95%. Other delegates will share 50% or maybe less or maybe a little bit more. And the reason why is because some delegates are contributing delegates. And personally, for me, I like to find contributing delegates that offer a reasonable reward. I don't necessarily need to find a delegate who offers 95% reward, although I do appreciate that, and I will vote on a delegate that offers such a high voter commission. I think that's one basket to put your egg in. But another basket to put your egg in is like, how do I make sure that the solar network is supported and maintained? And how do I make sure that these delegates are helping to contribute through marketing or research or development or whatever it is? And in that case, you kind of sacrifice some of the reward because that delegate is contributing to the network. And then that's in my view, a good investment because it's a long-term view. And again, so I take the long-term view. It's not necessarily about what the reward is that I'm going to get. It's more of what's the long-term view. Does this delegate have a long-term quote unquote stake in the solar blockchain? And if so, how are they
Mhm.
contributing to the network? And when that happens, I'm more incentivized to vote for them and perhaps receive less voter commission. But in terms of numbers, okay, you want to go over numbers. I've
Yep.
talked about numbers before. Right now, um, there is about 108,000 new SXP being forged every day. Um, our total supply is somewhere above 500 million. So what this means is that in the next 12 months, we're our inflation rate is about 8%. Now that's not the real inflation rate, by the way, because we have deflationary mechanisms built in to burn SXP, so our inflation rate isn't 8%. One other very key point about that is this is the highest our inflation rate will ever be because it's a fixed amount of SXP that gets forged every day. So as the total supply of SXP grows, the percentage of new SXP coming into the market is going to continually be less and less and less. And this is
Right.
why I emphasize that it's important to be early because we are sort of like a startup company that's permissionless, borderless, openless, doesn't require you to be a VC, doesn't require you to be an insider, doesn't require you to have a huge whale-sized wallet with SXP. No, you have one
Mhm.
SXP, you can participate. Another point to emphasize there, I mentioned earlier, 71% of newly forged SXP gets shared with our voters. So these delegates aren't just taking the newly forged SXP and saying, "Ha ha ha, look what I got. I'm just creating new money for me out of thin air. Woohoo." No, they're
Right.
actually sharing it with their community. So we're driving this circular model for SXP holders to use their SXP with us. And what we're gonna build with our metaverse and our launchpad and our NFTs is gonna continually create a use case for SXP holders. Now, we're also introducing some real deflationary mechanisms like I mentioned earlier. 90% of all SXP transactions get burned. So we have, SXP that is still ERC20 or BEP20 SXP, the old SXP, not mainnet SXP. When that
Mhm.
SXP, and right now about 30% of the old SXP has been swapped for our mainnet SXP. 30% is actually pretty high because we launched our mainnet in March 28th. That's a really high number in this industry. But there's still a lot of
Right.
SXP that hasn't swapped yet. So whenever there's a transaction on the SXP blockchain, 90% of that fee gets burned. So there's one deflationary mechanism. The other one is with our metaverse, we're gonna have, I think, 44,000 NFT plots. Those purchase and sales, 90% of the SXP used in the purchase and sale of an NFT land plot, 90% of that purchase is gonna be burned. If you just guesstimate. Now, I'm not saying these are the numbers. If you take, let's say, let's say the average cost of one NFT land plot is 100 SXP, which would be 50 US dollars, which is pretty low for an NFT land plot, right? If you just say that, and all 44,000 of those NFT land plots sell within the first year, that's 10% of our 12-month inflation rate.
Hmm.
That's only at a price of 100 SXP. Let's say the NFT land purchase and sale was on average 500 SXP, and we sold all 44,000 NFT land plots. That's a 50% burn rate for the next 12-month inflation rate. So,
Got it.
we are very aware of the fact that there is newly created SXP coming into our environment, which is why we are encouraging people to understand the importance of being early and the importance of what we're doing in terms of creating these deflationary mechanisms to create value for SXP holders.
Perfect. Good deal. All right, guys. If you guys are interested in solar and the whole ecosystem, especially being part of this community and this 71% shared, voter commissions and all this stuff. But besides all that, they've got new things developing all the time. Check out all the links down below. Check out solar.org. Jeff, Teef, thank you so much for joining me on this AMA, guys. If you're like I said, if you're interested, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. This is the best way we could do it. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next
Thanks,
video.
Aaron.
See ya.